This instructional video will show you how to locate and manage any unidentified driver log profiles for your hours of service. Unidentified driving logs are those log entries that have been collected by the ELD hardware and sent to the unidentified driver profile because there was no Bluetooth connection from the mobile application to the ELD hardware while the truck was being operated. Our solution is a two-part solution. So even if you were to accidentally get into a vehicle and drive it without logging into the TraceIT application, we can still capture that time that the motor vehicle was operated. And then that time can then later be claimed by the proper driver from the unidentified driving log profile. So the first place that you are going to encounter any unidentified driving logs is when you log into TraceIT. So when you launch TraceIT and log in with your email and password assigned, you will notice that once you get past the warning, if you are associated to a certain truck that has any unidentified log time, it will display in a pop-up to you during the login process. As you can see here, I have two entries for vehicle 0042. There's an entry for driving and then an entry for on duty not driving. And you'll notice that there's a verify button next to each one. So if I press the verify button, I have the option to either reject or accept that log file or cancel out and look at the next one. So in these cases, I know that I was the driver and I want to accept these log files. If I was not the driver and I did not want to accept that driving time, I would press the reject button, and then that driving time is rejected. Now in this case, I want to claim this on duty not driving time. So I'm going to press the verify button and press the accept button. And it says here that we have successfully accepted the log. Now that's one way that you will encounter unidentified driving log entries. The other is by navigating by pressing the menu button in the top left corner and going down to HOS logs. And then simply go down and look through the log files that you have and scroll to the very bottom. And in this case, for July 28th, you will see that there are several unidentified logs in the profile here. Now, some of these entries are things like engine on, engine off, any immediate or intermediate log file entries, other entries that don't require to be that time to be actually allocated toward a driver. But the two that do are on duty not driving and driving time entries. So all of these will need to either be accepted or rejected by the current driver that is connected to this truck. Now I know for a fact that, and for my purposes, this is my vehicle and I want to go through and actually accept all of these log file entries. So what I'll have to do is hit the verify button and then hit the accept button and then hit OK to accept that entry. Now it's okay for your log files to show continued entries in the unidentified driver log profile. These are normal under normal operating conditions, but bear in mind that any excessive driving time that's recorded on the device will eventually show up as an error and will need to be resolved. So any driving time and on duty not driving time should be assumed by a driver and annotated in the log files. And so you just continue this process of hitting verify, accept, and OK, verify, accept, and OK, until you have gone through the logs for each day in order to certify your logs.